What really makes a predator is the collection of gadgets, weapons, and tools that they employ so well to kill their unkillable prey. Although these defensive and offensive tools may look slightly primitive and tribal, with a very ancient aesthetic, they're highly advanced and are capable of taking down even huge spacecrafts. But the one thing that's almost common to all predators, regardless of their rank or clan, is their armor. Now, these armors might vary in design and style, but there's hardly been a single adult or youngblood predator that hasn't had an armor on. And in this video, we're going to discuss the 11 hidden features in Yautja armor. That said, before we begin, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Those 2 small clicks from you will help us tremendously in bringing you more of these marvelous videos. That out of the way, let's jump in. Number 1. Predator armor is composed of pretty strange stuff. Predator armor isn't one size fits all. It changes from clan to clan, and sometimes even from one hunter to another within the same group. Take Scar, Celtic, and Chopper from Alien vs. Predator, all part of the same clan, yet each wearing armor that looks tailor-made. The Super Predator clan, for example, took things further with bulkier, more aggressive designs. But no matter the variation, the essentials stay the same, and they have a breastplate, which is either full or partial, gauntlets, pauldrons, neck guards, extremity armor, of course, the biohelmet, the Predator equivalent of both a face and a fashion statement. Yautja gear covers what needs covering, including their groins, because even intergalactic hunters have boundaries. Then there's the thermal netting, the strange mesh pattern seen under their armor. In Prey, this netting helps regulate body temperature, letting them adapt to climates that would fry or freeze a human. The AVP novel explains it further. Yautja are ectothermic, meaning they depend on external heat, and this netting radiates warmth. It's apparently scorching hot to human touch, which makes sense because it's designed for reptiles, not tourists. Some predators, like the Super Clan, skip it altogether. Either they evolve differently or they prefer to hunt cold-blooded. Predators' armor often doubles as a trophy display. Many decorate it with bones, skulls, or hides from their kills. The Spearmaster wore bones of formidable beasts, and one hunter even used an alien skull as part of his gear. Outside of that, armor seems to be the only clothing predators bother with. They're not exactly fashion conscious. A bit of fabric around the waist counts as decent, and modesty isn't part of their vocabulary. Big Mama famously ran through human captivity completely unclothed, while in the AVP novel, Scar stripped off his armor right in front of Alexa Woods, leaving her flustered and him unbothered. So yeah, Predator armor isn't about style, it's about survival, status, and just a touch of swagger. Whether covered in bones or sizzling with heat, it's functional, personal, completely unapologetic. The Yautja don't care what you think of their wardrobe, they're too busy hunting something that screams louder than you do. 2. Predator armor might just be a robotic exosuit. So apparently, the Predator's armor isn't just armor, it's a full-blown robotic exosuit. In Predator number 4 by Ed Brisson and Netho Diaz, Theta, the galaxy's most accomplished predator killer, confirms this herself. After rescuing a group of humans from a predator hunting preserve, she's chased by a furious Yautja looking to reclaim its stolen kills. When her ally, Alan, points out that she's still injured, Theta suits up in predator gear anyways and says the suit has a powered exoskeleton built in. In other words, the armor makes her faster, stronger, and more mobile than she'd ever been on her own. That little revelation changes a lot. For years, fans assumed predators were naturally superior, stronger, quicker, tougher, all muscle and no mercy. Turns out, a big part of that came from their gear. Their armor didn't just protect them, it enhanced them. It's the intergalactic equivalent of steroids, but with style. Concept isn't entirely new, though. The 2018 film The Predator flirted with the idea when it introduced the genetically engineered super predator, whose exoskeleton was part of its biology. There was also the Predator Killer armor, which leaned more towards human engineering than traditional Yautja tech. Still, this is the first time a standard Predator suit has been confirmed to have an internal power system designed to boost performance. This also reframes a lot of what we've been seeing across the films. Those lightning-fast movements, the effortless lifting of full-grown humans, and the brute strength during close combat, maybe not all pure muscle. Maybe the armor did some of the heavy lifting, literally. It makes sense for a species obsessed with perfecting the art of the hunt. You live for combat and trophy collecting, you use every edge you can get. 3. Thermal mesh network. We're sure you've noticed how the predators wear the fishnet-like mesh. To the naked eye, this stuff doesn't look like part of a predator's armor, and you're not wrong. The mesh is a completely separate piece of clothing that a predator wears, and while the mesh doesn't have any combat features, it does have a very important use. You see, predators are known to hunt in all sorts of weather and climate. Our home planet itself is extremely warm. This is why they come to Earth only during the hottest period. So how is it that predators manage to hunt in the icy deserts of Antarctica? Well, the mesh comes in handy and serves as a personal heater for the predators, keeps them warm in cold environments, and allows the hunters to go about their day collecting skulls, extracting spines, you know the drill. The hot jungles, like the one from Guatemala, might serve as a comfortable environment during the day, but at night, the story is different as the environment cools down. This is when the predator starts to feel cold. You and I feel during peak winters, and without the warm thermal mesh network, the beast would have a hard time doing its thing. Additionally, the fishnets can serve as bags to carry around their trophies, as we see in Predator Big Game. 4. Dual audio visual recording system. One of the most underrated parts of a predator's armor isn't a combat weapon at all, it's their helmet. Beyond making them look like the universe's angriest biker, the biomask packs some serious tech. It's got thermal vision, tactical display, recording systems, and perhaps most interestingly, a voice translator that doubles as an audio recorder. The thing can capture and replay human speech or animal voices, which the Yautja use from everything from studying language to toying with prey mid-hunt. Sometimes they do it to strategize, other times probably because it's fun to scare someone using their dead teammate's voice. When a predator removes its helmet, its hearing changes drastically. In the original Predator movie, once the creature takes the mask off, sound becomes distorted and higher pitched, proof that the helmet doesn't just protect the head, it also fine-tunes what the hunter hears. And in Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, we see that the helmet doubles as a personal DVR. It can replay past footage, letting the wearer review what they've witnessed, which is either incredibly useful or incredibly creepy depending on how you look at it. Now, the art of mimicry is one of the Predator's most unnerving talents. While Yautja can imitate human speech naturally to a degree, their perfect voice replication, the kind that sounds exactly like a person, lies on the helmet. And yes, there's some sort of interstellar database where they can access pre-recorded human phrases, even ones from victims they didn't personally hunt. So Predator in a jungle halfway across the galaxy calls out in your buddy's voice, there's a chance it picked up that soundbite from another hunt centuries ago. Predators tend to use mimicry in predictable but effective ways, like copying distress calls, pleas for help, or familiar voices to lure victims away from safety. Once the prey isolates itself, the hunt gets a lot easier. They've also used mimicry to bypass voice-activated security systems, which tells you two things. The Yautja are clever, and human technology is embarrassingly easy for them to fool. Sometimes, though, they just do it for fun. There are instances where the mimicry serves no tactical purpose, and it's pure mockery, a victory cry in a stolen voice. In the Fire and Stone comics, there was a predator named Ahab who would joke around with one of the protagonists. Their helmets also handle vision. Across games like Aliens vs. Predator, the Yautja are shown switching between 4 vision modes, each tailored to different prey. There's the regular mode, mostly for the player's benefit in the first-person view, thermal vision for spotting humans, electric vision for identifying xenomorphs by their glowing white outlines, predator vision, green-tinted filter that highlights other Yautja and pieces of tech like armor or weapons. The latter can also serve as night vision, giving them perfect visibility in total darkness. 5. Wrist Computer Language Translator. The language translator is a pretty cool device that might soon make Google Translate obsolete. Installed in some predators' biomasks and even wrist gauntlets, it lets them decode and understand alien speech patterns with embarrassing ease. The device translates sound waves directly into the Yautja language, meaning the hunter always knows what's being said, even if it's a plea for mercy. Alien vs. Predator from 2004, Scar, Celtic, and Chopper all had translators built into their helmets, which helped them eavesdrop on the human team's plans mid-hunt. Scar later used his to communicate with Alexa Woods, the last survivor of the expedition, and while their partnership was uneasy, the translator at least ensured they weren't trying to kill each other over a language barrier. 6. Holographic map projection. Once again, this SATCOM is basically the Predator's version of another Google product, but this time it's Google Maps, except for the fact that the SATCOM projects a full 3D hologram straight from their wrist gauntlet. It scans entire areas in seconds, giving the hunter a perfect layout of terrain, targets, and potential prey. In Alien vs. Predator, Celtic used his SATCOM inside the Bouvet Island pyramid to track humans and locate 3 plasma casters, ultimate scavenger hunt, Predator style. Later, in Predators, the crucified Predator used his to display a hologram of the solar system for Royce, proving that even intergalactic murderers enjoy a bit of visual aid. Like most Yautja tech, the SATCOM blends precision with intimidation, turning what could have been a simple tracker into something that looks like a portable planetarium for killers. 7. Power Punch Glove Enhancement. The Power Punch Glove, or as some call it, the Power Punch Shield, made its debut in Killer of Killers, and honestly, it might be one of the most unique Predator weapons ever conceived. The story begins in 841 AD during the Viking era in Scandinavia, when a Norse warrior named Ursa leads her clan to raid a Krivich village. Her super personal mission is to find Zoran, the village leader who once forced her to kill her own father. Ursa's son, Anders, gets his revenge by killing Zoran, but their victory doesn't last long. Watching from afar is a Yautja warrior, the so-called Viking Predator, a hulking veteran who has clearly been hunting humans for sport long before anyone knew what a Yautja was. Now, this Predator is different from most of his kind. He doesn't wear much armor and carries no spear, disc, or plasma caster. Instead, he's got a single piece of gear strapped to his right arm, a strange metallic shield that's far too small for his frame. It doesn't cover his body like a traditional Viking shield, but it's not exactly useless either. It's somewhere between a weapon and a tool, so Power Punch Glove feels like the most accurate name for it. And, as it turns out, this tiny shield packs enough energy to blast a grown man across a battlefield. The first time we see it in action, the Predator uses the glove to send Anders flying across the village. The blast doesn't come from a strike, but from a pulse of pure concentrated energy emitted from the shield's surface. The weapon also has a recharge mechanism, a simple lever system that powers it back up before each attack. Once charged, it can either punch through an enemy or unleash a shockwave so strong that it sends people hurtling through wooden walls. The result is never pretty. Ursa ends up taking a direct hit, which launches her into the freezing water below the ice. The move saves her life, though, because the Viking Predator can't see her anymore. His vision relies on heat signatures, and she's now too cold to track. The hunter starts firing blasts in all directions, punching through the ice in an attempt to flush her out. That's when Ursa notices something clever. Every time the Predator fires the weapon, it creates a massive kickback that pushes him back several feet, especially on the ice. The power is immense, but so is the recoil. Ursa uses that weakness to her advantage. She grabs a heavy anchor, breaking the ice beneath them, and tangles the Predator in its chains. When the Viking Predator tries one last desperate strike, the shield's energy blast backfires, sending him reeling. The recoil drives his head straight into one of the anchor's sharp prongs, ending his hunt with poetic efficiency. The fight is short but brutal. It leaves a lasting impression. For one, the Power Punch Glove is something we've never seen before in Predator lore, a mix of brute strength and advanced energy tech. It's a blunt force device that channels raw energy through motion. It also shows how inventive the franchise can get when it wants to break away from the usual plasma cannons and invisibility cloaks. What's fascinating is how this one weapon completely changes the dynamic of the fight. Usually, humans in Predator stories survive through luck or sheer endurance. Ursa survives through observation and strategy. She studies the weapon's flaws and uses it against the Predator. It's clever, cinematic, and the kind of small-scale storytelling that keeps the Predator mythos alive without recycling the same hunt again and again. The Viking Predator's Power Punch Glove proves that even centuries ago, Yautja tech was miles ahead of anything humans could imagine. And if this ancient hunter had access to such an absurdly powerful gadget, you have to wonder what newer clans are hiding in their arsenals. 8. Removable self-destruct device. Built into their wrist gauntlet is a device that's both a failsafe and a final act of pride. When defeat is inevitable, a Yautja would rather take everything within range down with them than risk being captured or leaving behind any trace of their tech, because they want to make sure that no curious human scientist gets a hold of their toys. When activated, the device begins a short countdown displayed on the gauntlet. There's a distinct charging phase followed by a series of alien symbols that probably translates to "you've got about 10 seconds to run." Very few have managed to reverse the process, though destroying the gauntlet mid-countdown seems to stop the detonation. However, when it does go off, it's spectacular. The explosion usually forms a massive blue-tinted mushroom cloud, which, while not nuclear, still causes radiation-like sickness in anyone unlucky enough to be nearby. The exact science behind the blast isn't clear, although it likely shares properties with their plasma caster tech. In some cases, a glowing sphere of energy forms before detonation, sparking electrical discharge throughout the air. This might be a form of airburst meant to maximize destruction over a wide radius. And wide it is, depending on the yield set by the predator, it can either vaporize the user cleanly or flatten several hundred city blocks. The Yautja, after all, like their exits loud. Intriguingly, the self-destruct core can be removed and used offensively. In rare cases, predators have planted them like bombs when mass destruction was more useful than honor. Even their ships carry stronger versions of this same device, and one detonation in 1930 almost erased New Way City from existence. Some ship-based versions implode instead of explode, erasing all evidence of the vessel entirely. It has recently been revealed that the self-destruct device is a removable piece, so you can remove it from the armor and throw it just like a grenade, except that it's a grenade that will annihilate an entire region. 9. EM Field Detector for Xenomorph Hunting. The Aliens vs. Predator games give us a peek into how Yautja actually see the world. The Predator cycles through 4 vision modes, each built for a specific kind of hunt. There's regular vision, which is exactly what it sounds like, thermal vision that highlights humans like walking heat lamps, predator vision, which turns everything green and highlights other Yautja and their tech in white, and finally, there's electric vision with a red tint that helps spot xenomorphs by their glowing white outlines. This one helps a predator to find their most preferred trophies through the use of electromagnetic fields. In later versions, the modes were trimmed down to 3, i.e. normal, thermal, and alien vision. Thermal detects humans and synthetics, while alien vision isolates xenomorphs since they barely emit heat. The catch is that in the wrong mode, you're almost blind. Xenomorphs vanish in heat vision, and humans disappear in alien mode. 10. GPS-style homing beacons and prey tracking tags. These devices help predators navigate massive maze-like hunting zones, especially in chaotic places like Neonopolis. Normally invisible, a beacon decloaks and extends upward a few feet when a predator activates it. Once live, it emits a rhythmic red light and a low pulsing noise that only a Yautja can detect. Through their biohelmet's vision modes, the beacon displays a holographic flag marked with the clan's sigil. Of course, they also have a homing beacon that does exactly what it says. 11. Not all Predator armors are equally durable. The unblooded don't usually get any armor, and when they do, it's a mess of mismatched plates that barely fit. That's actually part of the test. Only when a hunter reaches Youngblood status do they earn a proper customized set. Even then, it's not acid-proof because the Yautja like their lessons the hard way. To get armor that can survive a xenomorph's blood, you first have to earn it by killing one. Sean Keyes later noted that the armor on the Predator Killer suit was surprisingly brittle, even vulnerable to small arms fire. Some think that the Yautja designed it that way on purpose, so if humans got their hands on it, they wouldn't gain much. Others say it was a prototype, which explains the weakness. Either way, Predator armor isn't about comfort or style, it's about proving you deserve to wear it. Speaking of the Predator Killer suit, why not discuss it in brief? The Predator Killer armor was basically a full-body suit designed for human use. It looked like a Predator, complete with dreadlocks, and packed enough firepower to make the US military jealous. The sleek and awesome-looking suit first appeared in The Predator in 2018, when the fugitive Predator brought it to Earth as some kind of peace offering. Unfortunately, the upgrade Predator wasn't thrilled about humans owning alien tech and tried to destroy it before it fell into the wrong hands, which, to be fair, is exactly what happened. The suit itself was absurdly overpowered. 3 shoulder-mounted plasma casters, a massive central cannon, and wrist blades that made standard Predator wrist blades look like butter knives. It probably had the same features as regular Yautja armor as well, including cloaking, thermal vision, and the usual bag of tricks. The entire thing was stored inside a wrist gauntlet no bigger than a forearm, which, once activated, locked onto the wearer's arm and materialized the full suit within seconds. Basically, Iron Man meets Space Trophy Hunter. But the interesting bits came from Sean Keyes' audio logs, which revealed that the Predator Killer armor wasn't exactly perfect. It was likely an early prototype filled with issues that would have embarrassed any self-respecting Yautja engineer. For starters, it was brittle. Yes, brittle, and it could be damaged by small arms fire. The power supply lasted for only 24 seconds before dying out, and firing the big plasma casters caused the whole thing to overload. It was more of a flashy prototype than a reliable weapon. Whether that was deliberate or not is still up for debate, but some believe the fugitive predator intentionally gave humanity a flawed version to see how far they could push the tech. Others think it was just unfinished, a half-baked experiment that was never meant to leave Yautja hands. Either way, it represented something rare, a bridge between predator and human technology, even if it was only one spark away from blowing up its user. Unfortunately, that's all we got for you this time, folks. Let us know your thoughts on Predator armor in the comments section down below, and yeah, let us know how you liked Predator Badlands, because we're really stoked to see it. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to us if you haven't already. Otherwise, thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and have a marvelous day.